everyone. Welcome to Working Women Helping Women, Franklin County Business and Professional Women's TV show. With me this afternoon is Leslie Germain, one of our long-term members, and she works for Manpower. Would you like to tell a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I have been a member of BPW for several years now, and actually one of my employees who worked for me was a member, and that's how I found out about the program. And with my own company, I feel that I spend so much time with working with people who are looking for jobs that this was an opportunity for me to do something totally different and work with people who have jobs and be in an organization where we could share and we could network. So I've been with Manpower about 20 years, and we are a global staffing company throughout the world. We're in 87 countries. So we have a huge footprint in Vermont. We've been here for about 40 years. And every day I am so thrilled that I get to work in this beautiful state and that I am a member of Business and Professional Women.
Great.
It's a fantastic organization.
Great. Glad to hear you say that.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say is the biggest benefit to being a member?
You know, I think originally it was just a pure acceptance. When you walk into a BPW meeting to begin with, you're absolutely welcomed. There's no measuring, there's no judging. You're just someone who wants to be there and they want you there. And I am not a real joiner. I will admit I dropped out of brownies when I was 5. So it's been a very long time.
I did too. So.
It's been a very long time for me to make a decision to join an organization like that. But with Business and Professional Women, I guess partly because I networked from someone who actually worked for me, but for me it was just such a wonderful experience to come on board, and no one cared what I did. No one cared who I was. They just cared that I was there and that I could be a part of the group. And I think now it's really all about networking. However, there's so much to learn, and you can learn so much from each other.
Right. Definitely. So what would you say your goals are, or what you hope to aspire in the next 5 years?
Well, I am at a point in my career where I finally feel like I really know what I'm doing, and it's time to give something back. So I want to make Business and Professional Women the thing that I really am going to do outside of work 110%. I feel like there's a lot that I can give back and still learn, but especially for younger women coming up, because they're still discriminated against. I mean, they really still are. And I think that there's things I can do to mentor some folks, and in the meantime get cross-mentored from them too, because you can always learn.
Right. Definitely. That's also a key part, not just the networking, but mentoring through BPW. We had a wide range of women with different professions, different age groups, different levels of where they're at in those jobs, and definitely has a lot of opportunities to be able to network and to be able to mentor each other and learn and grow, because like you said, I mean, we could always do that. So, So do you have any personal goals you hope to achieve in the next 5 years?
Well, as far as personal goals, I do love to garden, so I'm looking to always expand my own gardening. I want to become involved with growing vegetables in the state and a part of fresh marketing. I think that that's a really important goal, to try to control a little bit more of what we eat, so I want to become involved in that. But my job is, I work about 60 hours a week, so with Business and Professional Women, between the two, it's a pretty full life.
Yeah, definitely. Considering the fact you were very involved with the Vermont branch of BPW as well as the local branch,
Right.
kind of
Right.
adds
Yeah.
a whole other dimension to it.
As a state treasurer, yes, it was a very, very dynamic year when I did that. But that's the best way when you start, is to just jump in and, like as you did, to find
Sink or
something.
swim.
Yeah, really. Jump in, hold your nose, and see how you make out. But that's just the beauty of the organization, and you're there to learn, you're there to give, and it really works. It's fun, and they do really fun things and genuine things,
Right.
and they're there to help.
That's our plan this year, has been to get out in the community more and help the community, not just help our members to grow and everything, but help the community as a whole. We've been out, we've done quite a lot this year, so we're hoping to expand even more on that for the rest of the year and continue to build on it. So, definitely. A
Yeah,
good
I
thing.
found that it wasn't, no one was really that concerned about what you do. You know, it was more about who you are.
Right.
And so as time went by, you start finding out that this person, you know, is an accountant.
Right.
You know, and they're going to be able to teach those skills at another time. Or, you know, it's a dentist. There's people from all walks of life there. And at some point, you interact with all of them. And it makes it really special because they're not just worried about what you do.
Right.
It's just as much who you are.
And the other thing I found interesting is that some of those people that are accountants, doctors, lawyers, all those things have been so many other things before they got
Right.
to that point
Right.
that it's amazing how well-rounded they are and all the things that they've done and accomplished that are amazing before they went on to do their regular career, the career they have now. So that was definitely, it's interesting to be able to speak to members. That's one of the reasons I love doing the interviews, is I get to learn a little bit about my members that you really wouldn't probably ever know.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And in my last life,
Yeah.
actually, I ran an antique shop with American folk art. I'm actually a fiber artist in that life. So I spent 20 years going to Vermont craft shows. And then I actually had my own shop up in Montgomery Center for a lot of years.
Oh, wow. Okay, I
So,
didn't know.
yeah.
See, that's what I mean. I love to learn
it's,
things.
it's a totally different thing what I'm doing now with finding jobs for people and staffing. It's very rewarding, you know. Having a job where you can help somebody put food on the table is a really, really good feeling. And like I said, after putting so many people to work, it's nice to be a part of BPW too, where you're getting that other piece of it, where these people do have jobs and you're interacting with them on a totally different level. I think, you know, another thing that has been very instrumental for me with BPW was their IDP program, the individual development program. And I was a member only a few months when I went to that. It was a 2-day seminar. And you really had to think. I mean, they asked some great questions. When somebody asks you what you want to do in the future, who you want to be, or, you know, what excites you, and you don't want to give a superficial answer. I mean, you really have to sort of dig down there to see what you're made of. And there was a lot of that. And plus, I got to bond with a lot of the people that were there. But I found it really, really rewarding. And that was sort of an early introduction to the organization. And I think that was a real high point for me, too, was getting to take the IDP program.
Yeah, actually, we have a IDP event coming up next Saturday.
Yeah, I saw
the
that.
Tech Center's doing it right here at BFA, which I thought was a great thing. So yeah, they got, I think, 8 workshops and many people coming up, and so that should be very interesting and a lot to learn. And it's only $45, which I was very happy to hear that. I mean,
Right, and
we
it
try to
included lunch.
Yes, and included lunch. That's what I say. For $45 to go to an all-day workshop and learn all these things and have lunch included was definitely a great thing. I'm very thankful to Gina and to Debbie, the 2 ladies who were putting it on, because they worked really hard to be able to find people to donate their time and the rooms and the equipment, and, you know, to be able to do that so they could keep the price low, so everybody in the community could join in and learn something and kind of bond together, and they'll do all these different things. So
Yeah, the training's quite comprehensive. I mean,
Yeah.
they covered everything from accounting to just, you know, personal development. I mean, there was the broad spectrum
right,
of
a
what
little
they're
bit
going
for
to do.
everything for everybody. So
Right, right.
Definitely.
And that's just the beauty of the organization. They do things like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about fundraising like so many organizations are. I mean, we have our camp for the young women. There's a lot that we do with our money to help women get involved in the real working world, because we're going to be in it for a very long time. You know, and we still have the discrepancy in the amount of women versus men, even in Congress. We've only had one female governor in the state of Vermont, you know, and that was quite some years ago. It's surprising to me. So just those kinds of things that we can help promote, because you never know who's going to be the next great governor
right.
or president.
Right. Governor Shumlin said a few months ago that he wanted to see more women in politics, which
Well,
I
there
thought
you
was
go.
great.
Okay.
He was just talking about that a couple of months ago. That's great to hear that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you think BPW could help your people that you work with throughout your job, the people that come to you looking for jobs? Do you think BPW would be beneficial to them?
Absolutely. Anytime that you can connect with people on a social level like that are so accepting, then the networking starts, and as a part of that, I put people to work, but I'm also looking for really great people to put to work. And when I go to a BPW meeting, I might meet a sister who is, knows someone who's looking for a job. So it's kind of a two-way street. So definitely, because you never know. You just never know. And the fact that we're all going to be working for a lot of years, why not do something you want to do? Why not meet somebody that excites you, or a job that excites you? And that's a great way to reach out, because you know these people. It's not just like superficial
5 or 6 people,
networking. I mean, these are people, you're in their homes, you socialize with them, you
have board meetings at their kitchen table.
Board meetings and virtual board meetings and exactly. Yeah, from the very beginning, my very first experience, we were getting ready for the convention that we have once a year. And no one even knew who I was, really. And they're like, oh, come on up. And you can put the stuff in the bags kind of thing. And I just put, the goodie bags that we were doing, that kind of thing. And I felt so special, because it's like they didn't even know who I was, and I was included. It's so inclusive, and it's that feeling, and that's really a special feeling, and I think we all like that.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So what do you think the most common misconception about Franklin County BPW is?
Oh, good question. I think that people probably don't realize the depth of the things that we do, our goals that we're trying to reach with helping women in particular, and young women in particular. And I think that it's possible that some people just construe it as another just sort of social organization where it's a bunch of women that just get together, and it's not like that.
Right.
I mean, it is women, and not that men can't be there.
We do have a male member.
I know we have male members.
Excited.
Yeah, I know. I think that's awesome. But it's the real deal, and I think that if somebody is curious about it, they really, really should come to a meeting, and your meetings are wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
You have great guest speakers. There's always something going on. There's a point to it besides just getting together. I mean, it's great to see everybody once a month if you haven't had a chance to interact with a lot of people. But I also think the format of how you run the meetings with, somebody there to talk about the environment or health care, I mean, it could be, the scope of it is really amazing. So it's not just a social organization. We have a real goal.
Yep,
We have a real goal.
Yeah, we found a pretty good mixture of things. We realized if we do the networking and we have dinner, and then we have a speaker, we have our business meetings, we kind of have a little bit of everything. So our speakers we do have come usually talk about a wide variety of topics. We had Miss Vermont last month. They came up and spoke. And last year we had the Fairfield Farmers Market. The ladies came up and did their thing. They have a virtual farmers market, which is amazing. So we've had a little bit of everything. So it's kind of nice to be able to showcase women and men that are empowering women. It's kind of nice to be able to do that as much as we can. So we definitely encourage people to come speak. They can check us out and call me. My information's all on our website. So it's always good to be able to meet new people that come speak and teach us something. So definitely.
So there's a point to the meeting besides just getting together and that networking piece of it. But it is because the women that are the speakers are always very empowering. And I always feel really charged up after I've been to a meeting. I'm like, wow, I feel really good. And that's just so special, and you can't get that just anywhere. And the scope of the ages, we've had young all the way to very senior people. And each one of those people brings something different.
Different aspect of it.
Yeah, because they've walked just such a different walk in a different time era, So, it makes it really interesting because you do have that diversity with the ages. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm very excited for our November meeting because we get to have our awards presentations. So our Employer of the Year, Woman of the Year, and Woman of Achievement. So that's always an exciting meeting. We always have quite a lot of guests for that. And kind of a nice way to be able to check out everybody in the community and see which businesses. We're always amazed every year how many businesses get nominated for Employer of the Year for how empowering they are to their women employees and to women in the community. So we're very excited to see who's going to be
this year.
Do you know
who that is?
No, I don't know
not
yet. I don't
Not
know
yet.
yet.
Okay.
They haven't met to pick them yet, but no. But yeah, so it's always nice to be able to see not just the employers, but also the other, like the women in the community that are doing things to benefit not just women, but families usually. A lot of the women of achievement usually is somebody in the community who is helping women, families grow and prosper. Patty Rainville was one a few years ago, so I've had a little bit of everything. So kind of a good thing. So yeah, definitely will be an interesting meeting. So
That's when there's men coming too.
yes,
It's always fun to see men at the meetings.
yes. Nate's our male member right now. We do have one male member, and they kind of pick on him a little bit, but you know, he handles it well. He's got a good sense of humor, so that's a good thing.
You pretty much have to.
Yeah, he's got a good sense of humor. It's a good thing. So
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, is there anything else you'd like to share?
Well, I think that for anyone who's contemplating thinking about joining an organization, really give business and professional women a chance. And you know, the other great thing about it is I am not from Franklin County.
Yeah.
And I was just as welcome up here as if I was from here. And you know, geographically that can be a little funny, you know, you have your choice of where you want to go, but it doesn't matter. You know, the people up here are great, and it's a really, really nice branch of business and professional women.
Thank you.
It's very impressive, and you've done a fantastic job with being president.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I was very glad to be able to sit down and talk to you and learn a few
thank
things.
you.
I had no idea that's what you did in your past life,
Yeah?
like you said. That's great. So maybe you could come teach one of our meetings.
I'd certainly love
It'd be
to.
a lot of fun. That'd be
I'd
very
certainly
different.
love
I'd
to.
like that.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
tap into everybody's creative side. I like that. Definitely
I
like
just
that.
might decide that that's what I'd like to do.
That
Okay.
sounds good. I like that. So, alrighty. Thank you, everybody at home, for joining us this evening. And I want to thank Leslie again for joining me tonight. You can check us out at www.bpwfranklincounty.com. And you can RSVP to our meetings, check us out, see what we're about, and also watch our other Working Women Helping Women TV episodes that are posted on there. So I hope to see you on the third Tuesday of the month. Have a good night. Bye.